The galaxy had never seen a species like humans. To the Tsarkans, Solari, and Arathans, humans were a small, fragile race barely worth notice. Their ships were ordinary, their weapons seemed primitive, and their behavior strange. Yet now, a fleet of these humans was moving steadily through the outer rim, heading toward the center of galactic civilization. On the bridge of the Tsarkan scout cruiser, Admiral Threx studied the approaching fleet. His sharp eyes traced the slow but deliberate movement of the ships. "Commander, do you see this?" Threx hissed. His claws tapped nervously on the console. "Yes, Admiral," replied the junior officer. "They are slow. They do not seem to have advanced shields nor the quantum disruptors that most of our fleet carries." Threx grunted. "Exactly. They are primitive, yet they move as one. That is unusual." In the Council of the Outer Rim, representatives of various species were gathered to watch the humans' arrival. A large holographic display projected the human fleet in full, showing the slow sweep of ships against the black void of space. "I say we ignore them," a Solari ambassador suggested, his crystalline form shimmering. "They are insignificant. They lack the technology to be a threat, and their numbers are minimal." "Perhaps," the Arathan delegate said, his glowing energy form swirling in subtle patterns. "But there is something different about them, I feel it. Their coordination is precise." The council dismissed the warnings lightly. Humanity was a small, untested species. They had been told countless times in history that small species could never achieve greatness. Yet curiosity has always lingered. On board the human flagship, the USS Resolute, Commander Kale studied the approaching alien fleets. He was a man of average height with short brown hair and piercing blue eyes, yet there was a calm authority in his demeanor that inspired confidence in his crew. "Status report," he said, his voice steady. "Lieutenant Maya Sanchez." The communications officer replied, "Admiral Tsarkan fleet is observing us. Sensors indicate their weapons are active, but they have not fired. They are cautious." Kyle nodded. "Good, that is expected." "Let them watch. They will learn soon enough that humans are not ordinary." Humans had long trained for situations like this. For centuries, they had adapted to unpredictable environments: deserts, oceans, jungles, Arctic plains, even the vacuum of space. Their strength was not in raw power alone, but in creativity, teamwork, and the ability to learn and improvise. The galaxy had yet to understand this fully. As the human fleet approached the first system under Council control, a minor accident occurred. A small human scout ship miscalculated its trajectory and narrowly avoided a collision with a mining station. The Tsarkans gasped. The Council murmured. "Typical human carelessness," one officer said. "I told you, they are primitive." But Kale's face remained calm. The incident had been a test, a deliberate maneuver to make aliens underestimate them. Humans often used appearances to mislead opponents. The next day, the humans arrived at the system's main planet. Unlike the Tsarkans or Solari, humans preferred to communicate openly. They transmitted a peaceful message: "We come in peace. We seek cooperation in science, trade, and exploration. We do not intend harm." The Council was skeptical. The Solari ambassador sneered. "Peace? These creatures are naive. They cannot survive long among the stars without conflict." Kale smiled at the message's simplicity. "Peace is the first step," he told his crew. "But make no mistake. If forced to defend ourselves, we will do so with precision." For the next several days, humans moved carefully but confidently. They docked at spaceports, repaired ships, and analyzed local conditions. The aliens watched, expecting mistakes. But the humans were efficient, organized, and disciplined. Every crew member knew their task. Every ship moved with perfect timing. Admiral Threx was uneasy. "They are small, yes. Fragile, yes. But they act as if the galaxy itself is a single organism, and they know its heartbeat." The aliens tried to probe further. They sent small fleets to challenge the humans, expecting to see errors. Yet the humans responded calmly. Their formations were unusual, feints and subtle maneuvers that made alien ships hesitate. They never acted aggressively but never retreated. On the sixth day, Kale convened his officers. "Our goal is simple," he said. "We are here to learn, to observe, and to demonstrate that humans are not just survivors. We are experts. Every action we take must show unity, creativity, and adaptability. Remember, we do not need to dominate with firepower alone. We will win with skill." Lieutenant Sanchez asked, "Sir, do you think the aliens suspect anything?" Kyle shook his head. Not yet. That is our advantage. They see what they expect, a small, weak species. They do not yet see the mind behind the body. Meanwhile, the alien fleets whispered among themselves. There is something different about these humans, the Tsarkan admiral said. Their ships are ordinary. Their weapons are weak, and yet their coordination, it is unsettling. They think faster than their size suggests, the Arethans observed silently. Their energy forms flickered nervously. They are unpredictable. Their moves do not follow any known logic. It was the first sign that the galaxy had underestimated humanity, not in numbers, but in strategy. Then a signal came from deep space. A rogue band of space pirates had attacked a nearby cargo convoy. The Council expected the humans to avoid involvement, thinking them too small to matter. Yet Kale made a decision. Deploy interceptor squads, he ordered. We will assist the convoy. Show them what humans can do. Within hours, human ships reached the pirate fleet. The pirates were numerous, larger, and better armed, or so it seemed. The humans did not panic. They split into small teams, using rapid, coordinated strikes. Each maneuver seemed instinctive but was carefully planned. The pirates fired their weapons, expecting chaos. Yet the humans adapted instantly, dodging attacks, regrouping, and hitting precise weak points. Within minutes, the pirate fleet was incapacitated. Not a single human ship was lost. The cargo convoy remained intact. Back at the council chambers, the Tsarkans, Solari, and Arethans watched in disbelief. Impossible, whispered the Solari ambassador. They are experts. How? Kale returned to the Resolute, calm as ever. His crew cheered quietly, but Kale raised his hand. Do not celebrate yet, he said. This was only the first test. The galaxy still thinks us weak. Soon they will see our full strength, not in power but in skill. And when that day comes, the galaxy will remember this moment. As night fell over the council worlds, the humans' fleet shimmered under distant starlight. To the aliens, they were still small and ordinary. To the humans, they were the beginning of something greater, a chance to show the galaxy that creativity, teamwork, and adaptability could surpass any technology or size. The human fleet had settled near the border of a contested system, a region of space where 3 alien civilizations' territories met. The Council had sent a fleet to inspect the humans, not to engage them in battle but to test their limits. Admiral Threx, commander of the Tsarkan contingent, floated above the bridge console, his claws tapping nervously. They are still small, yes, but the last incident, it was unusual. They responded to pirates with more skill than any species I've seen at their size. The Solari representative glimmered beside him. It is worrying. Humans are unpredictable. Their coordination seems instinctive. I do not understand it. On the human flagship USS Resolute, Commander Kale studied the alien fleet. Sensors reported hundreds of ships, each bristling with weapons far more advanced than the human arsenal. The Council had intentionally sent their best to test them. Kale turned to his officers. They expect us to fail. That is our advantage. Keep formations tight. Watch for patterns. Every move we make must be deliberate. Humans are adaptable. Humans are smart. Remember that, Lieutenant Sanchez nodded. Sir, the aliens are moving into attack positions. They might fire if we make any wrong move. Kale's expression did not change. Then we make no wrong moves. Trust your training, trust each other, and trust your instincts. As the alien fleet advanced, their weapons hummed with energy. Lasers arced across space like deadly threads. The human ships did not panic. Instead, they moved in ways the aliens could not anticipate. To the Tsarkan admiral, it looked like chaos. Ships veered left and right, split into smaller groups, then regrouped. But every movement was coordinated. Every turn had purpose. Every strike was measured. Stop. Threx barked, but no officer could understand. What are they doing? This is nonsense. The humans' first response was subtle. Instead of attacking head-on, they deployed sensor drones to study the alien fleet in real time. Small drones weaved through the energy beams, recording every weapon, every maneuver. Commander, Lieutenant Sanchez said, pointing at the display. They are adjusting their weapons based on our positions. Kyle nodded. Exactly. And so will we. Now execute the first maneuver. Human ships split into 2 groups. One acted as a decoy, drawing fire and attention. The other moved silently along a hidden route near an asteroid belt. To the aliens, it seemed like a mistake, an exposed flank. Then the humans struck. With pinpoint accuracy, they disabled the alien ship's engines and communication arrays, all without destroying the ships. It was surgical, efficient, and utterly confusing to the observers. On board the Council's observation station, the Solari ambassador whispered, "I do not understand. How can such small ships do this? They are experts." The Zarkan admiral's claws clenched. "They think like us, only faster. Faster and smarter. We underestimated them." The humans did not pause. They used their environment, navigating through asteroid fields, debris clouds, and natural gravitational currents to remain unpredictable. Every move forced the aliens to adapt, but no alien adaptation was fast enough. A sudden message came from the alien fleet's central command. "Engage at maximum power. Destroy the humans immediately." Kale looked at his crew. "Remember what we practiced. They expect panic. We do not panic. They expect brute force. We use strategy. Adjust shields to compensate for their energy weapons. Prepare countermeasures for all attacks. Focus fire on weak points only. We fight smart." The human fleet engaged with surprising coordination. Each ship had its role, and each crew member executed it perfectly. Humans had trained for this moment for centuries, on simulations in harsh environments, and in tactical exercises across uncharted space. Their advantage was not advanced technology, it was understanding, observation, and adaptation. Alien ships fired, attempting to overwhelm the humans with superior firepower. Lasers and plasma bolts streaked across the void. Human ships dodged with agility that no alien expected. Small groups performed feints pretending to retreat, only to circle back and disable critical weapons. Lieutenant Sanchez shouted, "Sir, they're targeting our decoy units. They're falling for it." Kale allowed a small smile. "Good, let them underestimate us. Humans always use what the enemy does not see coming." For hours the battle continued. The humans did not aim to destroy the alien fleet. They aimed to neutralize the threat efficiently. Their movements were precise, almost like a living organism, with each ship acting as a part of a larger body. Alien commanders grew frustrated and confused. Their best tactics failed against what appeared to be chaos, but was in fact careful calculation. The Zarkan admiral leaned back in disbelief. "I have fought thousands of species in my life. None of them are like this, none. They adapt, they predict, and they move with precision. It is terrifying." By the end of the encounter, the pirate fleet, no, the alien fleet sent to challenge them, was forced to retreat. Not a single human ship had been lost. The aliens had suffered minor damage, but more importantly, they had been outmaneuvered. Kale addressed his crew after the encounter. "Good work, everyone. Today we proved what humans can do, not because we have superior firepower, but because we think, we adapt, and we trust each other. Remember this moment. The galaxy will soon realize what we are capable of." Back at the council, the aliens debated. "We cannot ignore them anymore," the Solari ambassador said. "We cannot predict their actions. They are extraordinary." The Zarkan admiral nodded reluctantly. "They are small, yes, but their minds are sharper than any I have encountered. We must prepare for the possibility that humans are more than we thought." Despite their victory, the humans did not celebrate openly. They knew this was only the first real test. Out in the galaxy, more challenges awaited. Pirates, hostile factions, and entire fleets who would see them as weak prey. But humans had a skill no other species possessed: adaptability. They could learn and adjust faster than anyone else. In the quiet moments after the battle, Kale walked the deck, observing his crew. Every officer, every sailor, and every pilot moved with confidence. They were ready for whatever the galaxy would throw at them. Lieutenant Sanchez approached him. "Sir, do you think the Council will ever respect humans?" Kale paused, looking out at the stars. "They will respect us when they see what we can do. But respect alone is not enough. We must prove it again and again. The galaxy does not fear what it does not understand. Our job is to show them what humans are capable of." In the distance, the Council fleets regrouped. They had seen the humans in action, and for the first time they realized this small species was unlike anything they had ever encountered. Humans did not rely on superior numbers, alien technology, or exotic powers. They relied on ingenuity, coordination, and courage. The galaxy had underestimated humans, and the humans knew it. Kale gave the order. "Prepare for the next challenge. We move forward, observe, learn, adapt." And when the time comes, we strike with precision and skill. The human fleet glided silently into the darkness of space, ready for what lay ahead. The council fleets watched in uneasy silence. Somewhere in the observation chamber, a young Zarkan officer whispered almost in awe, "I thought they were weak, but they are experts." It was the first true recognition of what the galaxy had yet to fully understand. Humans were not just survivors. Humans were a force built on intelligence, creativity, and teamwork. And the galaxy would soon see that a human expert army was something no one could ignore. The first encounter was over, but the real story, the revelation of humanity's full potential, was only beginning. The galaxy had glimpsed the truth, and it would never look at humans the same way again. After their first encounter, the humans had proven something no alien species had expected. They were not ordinary. They were fast learners, precise thinkers, and experts in coordination. But the Interstellar Council was not satisfied with just one skirmish. The Council decided to test humans in a controlled environment. The War Games Arena, located on a neutral planet, was a massive facility designed for fleet simulations. It had artificial space fields, asteroids, energy storms, and zones that mimicked real battle conditions. The galaxy's greatest strategists, Zarkans, Solari, and Erithans, were gathered to watch and compete against the human fleet. In the council chambers, the Solari ambassador shimmered brightly. "Do you think these humans can survive this trial?" he asked. The Zarkan Admiral Threx growled softly. "They might survive, yes. But winning? That is impossible. Their ships are too small, their weapons are too weak, and their numbers too few. Strategy alone cannot defeat experience and technology combined." Meanwhile, aboard the USS Resolute, Commander Kale addressed his officers. "The War Games Arena is not just a simulation. It is a test of intelligence, adaptability, and creativity. Every move we make will be observed. Every action counts. Humans have always relied on ingenuity more than brute force. Today that will be our advantage." Lieutenant Sanchez nodded. "Sir, the alien strategists are famous. Their tactics have never failed in simulations. Are we ready?" Kale smiled faintly. "We are not just ready. We are prepared to think differently. Remember, the galaxy does not expect humans to be clever in this way. That is our strength." The humans entered the arena. Asteroids, energy fields, and simulated enemy fleets created a chaotic environment. The first challenge began. Humans versus Zarkan strategists in a fleet exercise designed to test offensive and defensive tactics. At first, the humans appeared to be at a disadvantage. Their ships were smaller, slower, and carried fewer weapons. The Zarkans advanced in tight formations, firing volleys that would have destroyed a typical fleet. But the humans did not panic. Instead, they spread out using the asteroid fields for cover. Their ships moved unpredictably, weaving and splitting in ways that seemed random but were carefully coordinated. "Observe their movements," Kale said. "Every ship is part of a greater plan. Watch for patterns, then adapt." The Zarkan fleet fired repeatedly, but the humans adjusted shields and evasive maneuvers instantly. Small groups acted as decoys, drawing fire while the main human force struck weak points in the enemy formation. "Impossible," whispered one Zarkan officer. "They are predicting our moves." Kale's fleet continued with fluid precision. One human ship darted into the middle of the Zarkan formation, dodging heavy fire. The aliens expected destruction, but instead the ship released a series of sensor probes. The probes analyzed the fleet's firing patterns in seconds, feeding information back to the human commander. With that data, humans adapted. They concentrated fire where the Zarkans were vulnerable, disabled engines without destroying the ships, and maintained perfect formation. In minutes, the Zarkan fleet was forced to retreat, not out of weakness, but because they could not overcome the humans' superior strategy. The council murmured in astonishment. The Solari ambassador glimmered brighter. "They are unlike any species we have studied. They do not rely on brute strength, yet they achieve more than expected." Next, the humans faced the Solari strategists. The Solari were known for their crystalline ships, capable of precise, devastating energy bursts. They moved with elegance and deadly accuracy. Many species had failed simulations against them. The humans approached the simulation cautiously. They knew the Solari would expect direct confrontation, so Kale ordered a different tactic. "Split the fleet," he said. Use the environment. Let them overextend while we adapt. Attack when they least expect it. The humans maneuvered into asteroid clusters and simulated energy storms. The Solari, confident in their superior technology, advanced aggressively. Then at the precise moment, humans struck from multiple directions using feints and ambushes. Small human units infiltrated Solari formations, disabling key weapon systems. The Solari tried to adjust, but each adaptation had already been predicted. It was as if humans thought faster than the Solari, anticipating moves and responding instantly. The Council watched silently. Even the Erithans, known for their energy manipulation tactics, could not hide their astonishment. "They are extraordinary," said an Erithan delegate. Hours passed with humans facing successive challenges. In every trial, humans adapted. They exploited terrain, used misdirection, and coordinated strikes with unmatched precision. Every alien strategy that had never failed before faltered against the humans' unpredictable ingenuity. During a brief pause, Lieutenant Sanchez spoke to Kale. "Sir, I don't think they've ever seen a species like us. They expected simple humans, not..." This Kale nodded. "Exactly. Humans succeed because we are not predictable. We think, we learn, and we act as one. That is our advantage. Remember, in the galaxy, thinking differently is often more powerful than having better weapons." In the final challenge, humans faced a combined fleet of Tsarkan, Solari, and Erithan strategists. It was the ultimate test of skill, coordination, and leadership. The arena was filled with simulated hazards, gravitational distortions, asteroid storms, and decoy fleets. Every alien fleet unleashed its most complex tactics. The human fleet responded with calm efficiency. They split into small, coordinated teams, each acting independently yet in perfect harmony. They used the environment, exploiting gravity wells to gain speed, hiding behind asteroids, and using the aliens' own strategies against them. Kyle issued orders calmly. Focus on observation first. Predict, then adapt. Patience wins battles. Strike only when we have advantage. Move as one. The aliens unleashed wave after wave of attacks. The humans countered with feints, ambushes, and precise strikes. Every movement seemed unpredictable yet perfectly planned. Ships disabled alien weapons, disrupted communications, and avoided damage with minimal energy. Finally, the simulation ended. The humans had succeeded without losing a single ship. The alien strategists were stunned. They had prepared for centuries to face unknown species, but humans had defeated them using skill, intelligence, and teamwork. In the council chambers, debate erupted. How can a species so small and unarmed surpass our best strategists? The Tsarkan admiral asked. "They are not like other species," said the Erithan delegate. "They adapt faster, think faster, and coordinate perfectly. They do not fight like predators. They fight like experts." Kyle addressed his crew. "Today we showed that humans are more than survivors. We are thinkers, leaders, and experts in strategy. Remember this lesson. The galaxy may underestimate us, but they will never forget what they saw today." Lieutenant Sanchez looked around at the crew, smiling. "Sir, they are probably terrified of us now," Kale chuckled. "Good, let them be. Fear and respect are natural when you show the world what humans can do. But this is only the beginning. The galaxy will soon see what an expert human army can achieve in real battle." The humans had not only passed the trial, they had stunned the galaxy. News of their performance spread quickly through council channels, and whispers began across star systems. Humans were no longer seen as simple creatures of survival. They were now recognized as species capable of unprecedented tactical genius. Back in the observation chamber, the Solari ambassador admitted reluctantly, "I have studied thousands of species and none have moved like this. Humans are extraordinary." The Tsarkan admiral sighed. "They are not just strong or lucky. They are experts, and we cannot predict what they will do next." Kale, observing the council's reaction, knew the truth. The galaxy's perception of humanity had begun to change. Humans were not merely soldiers. Humans were thinkers, strategists, and problem solvers. Their power lay not in numbers or technology, but in adaptability, coordination, and intelligence. The trial had ended, but the lesson was clear. The galaxy had underestimated humanity, and the humans, led by Kale, were ready to prove their full potential in ways no one could yet imagine. The day ended with the council in awe, and the humans quietly preparing for the next challenge. The galaxy had glimpsed the truth. Humans were a force to be reckoned with not for their strength, but for their unmatched mastery of strategy. The galaxy had begun to whisper about humans. Across the Council worlds, every strategist and commander had seen what humans could do in simulations and skirmishes. But whispers alone were not enough. Humans would now face a real test, a battle where lives, not simulations, were at stake. In a distant, uncharted system, a massive alien fleet loomed. These forces were part of a rogue faction that had grown powerful on the fringes of known space. They sought to expand their territory and crush any species they saw as weak. Humans, still considered small and primitive by most, were their first target. Commander Kyle studied the system from the bridge of the USS Resolute. Sensors reported dozens of hostile warships, each larger and more heavily armed than anything humans had faced before. Lieutenant Sanchez leaned over the console. "Sir, we are heavily outnumbered. Their firepower alone could wipe out our fleet in minutes." Kyle nodded calmly. "Yes, but numbers are not the only factor. Remember what we always do. Observe, adapt, coordinate. They expect panic. We will remain calm. They expect brute force. We will use strategy." The fleet moved into formation. Human ships were smaller and slower, but their crews were highly trained. Each crew member knew their role perfectly. Each pilot, gunner, and engineer acted not just individually, but as part of a living network of precision. The first wave of alien ships attacked. Energy beams and missiles streaked across space. Many species would have panicked, but humans did not. Small groups of ships fainted, pretending to retreat, only to swing back unexpectedly from flanking positions. "Observe the patterns," Kyle instructed. "Do not react too quickly. Wait for the moment to strike." The aliens tried to exploit their superior firepower. They targeted large human vessels, expecting quick destruction. Yet every human ship moved unpredictably, using asteroid fields, debris clouds, and gravitational anomalies to remain elusive. Sensors relayed enemy positions in real time, allowing humans to counter before the enemy could adapt. A squadron of human interceptors darted into the heart of the enemy formation. They appeared exposed, but it was a deliberate trap. The alien fleet fired, wasting energy on decoy ships. Meanwhile, the main human force moved to attack weak points: engine cores, communication arrays, and shield generators. Lieutenant Sanchez reported, "They're falling for the decoys, sir. Their formation is breaking apart." Kale's eyes narrowed. "Good. Keep pressure, but stay coordinated. Do not overextend." The rogue aliens realized they were being outmaneuvered. They tried to regroup, concentrating fire on human command ships. But humans anticipated this. They split into small units, striking multiple points simultaneously. Every attack was precise, every move deliberate. The battle raged for hours. Energy beams lit the darkness of space. Explosions rippled across asteroid fields, and communication signals crackled under heavy interference. Yet the human fleet remained focused, calm, and efficient. Not one ship was lost. "Sir, they're adapting faster than expected," Lieutenant Sanchez said. "Every tactic they try, we already have a counter for." Kale nodded. "That is why humans are dangerous. We think we adapt and we act as one. This is the edge no one sees coming." A massive alien dreadnought advanced, intending to crush the humans' central command. Its weapons could obliterate entire sectors. The alien commanders expected panic. They expected humans to scatter. Instead, Kale ordered a bold maneuver. The Resolute and accompanying ships split into multiple small squadrons, each moving along unpredictable paths. Using asteroid fields and gravity wells, the humans avoided the dreadnought's concentrated fire. At the perfect moment, all squadrons struck simultaneously. Shields collapsed, engines were disabled, and communication arrays were jammed. The aliens were stunned. They had not expected humans to coordinate on such a scale. Their most powerful ship was now neutralized, and their fleet's formation was in chaos. The Tsarkan admiral, observing remotely from a council outpost, muttered, "I've never seen anything like this. They are outthinking every strategy we have. They are extraordinary." Kale addressed his officers calmly. "Focus on neutralizing threats, not destroying unnecessarily. Efficiency and precision win battles, not recklessness. Keep the fleet intact and we win." The human fleet continued its masterful coordination. They moved like a single entity, anticipating enemy movements, predicting attacks, and adjusting in real time. Smaller alien ships that tried to flank were intercepted and disabled, while larger ones were carefully trapped and neutralized without destruction. Hours later, the rogue faction was forced to retreat. Their fleet was damaged, morale shattered, and strategy broken. They had underestimated humans, thinking size, numbers, and firepower were all that mattered. They were wrong. The USS Resolute and the rest of the human fleet regrouped. Cale walked the bridge, observing his crew. They were tired but confident. They had faced overwhelming odds and had prevailed, not because of advanced technology or sheer firepower, but because of teamwork, intelligence, and adaptability. Lieutenant Sanchez turned to him.
Sir, they will never forget this.
The galaxy will talk about it for decades. Kyle shook his head. They will remember the victory, yes, but more importantly, they will begin to understand what humans are capable of. Today we showed that even the impossible can be overcome with skill and coordination. Back in the council chambers, the Solari ambassador shimmered nervously. Humans, they are more than we expected. They outthink, they outmaneuver, and they survive against forces that should have crushed them. The Tsarkan admiral sighed. We underestimated them. Every species underestimates humans, and that is why they win. As the humans returned to their fleet base, they began repairing and resupplying. There was no celebration beyond quiet acknowledgement of a job well done. They knew more challenges awaited. The galaxy was vast, and many species still saw humans as weak and insignificant. Yet something had changed. The galaxy now knew, at least partially, that humans were different. Humans were not just survivors of harsh planets. They were thinkers, leaders, and warriors with unmatched skill in adaptation and strategy. The rogue faction that had attacked them would tell stories of human expertise that no one could forget. Kyle looked at the stars outside the Resolute's bridge. The galaxy will continue to test us, but humans have proven what we are, not because we are strong, but because we are clever, coordinated, and relentless. The day they underestimate us again will be the day they lose. Lieutenant Sanchez smiled. Sir, do you think the Council will finally take humans seriously? Kyle's gaze remained steady. They will, slowly, but respect comes after repeated proof, and humans will give that proof again and again until the galaxy understands. Today was just the beginning. Tomorrow they will see even more. The human fleet moved silently through space, ready for new challenges. Their victory in the uncharted system was proof of their skill, but more importantly, it was proof of what humans were truly capable of. The galaxy had begun to realize it. Humans were not ordinary. Humans were a force to be reckoned with, a species whose ingenuity, coordination, and adaptability made them unstoppable in ways no alien had anticipated. Somewhere, observing from the Council outpost, the Tsarkan admiral muttered quietly, almost to himself, I have fought countless species. None of them think like this. Humans are something else entirely. The humans had done the impossible. They had proven themselves in skirmishes, simulations, and real battle against overwhelming odds. Across the galaxy, whispers turned into discussions. Every species that had once laughed at humanity now spoke in hushed, cautious tones. Humans were not ordinary. They were experts, fighters, strategists, and thinkers who had rewritten the rules of engagement. The Interstellar Council convened for an emergency session. Holograms of humans and their ships hovered above the council chamber. Every species that had observed the humans' victories was present. For the first time, representatives did not argue over trade or territory. They argued over humans themselves. The Tsarkan Admiral Threx was the first to speak. His claws drummed nervously on the council table. I have fought countless species in my lifetime. I have studied thousands of fleets. None of them think or fight like humans. They adapt faster, predict faster, and coordinate in ways that no one could imagine. I recommend full recognition of their strategic capabilities. The Solari ambassador's crystalline form shimmered. Agreed. They have proven themselves time and again. Their victories are not random. They are calculated. They do not rely on raw strength. They rely on intellect, coordination, and unity. It is extraordinary. The Erithans, who had long been the most logical and reserved species, added their voices. Humans are unique. We have observed and analyzed every known species. Humans are unlike any of them. We propose a formal invitation for humans to join the Council as recognized strategic partners, with full authority to act as peacekeepers and advisors. In the human fleet, Commander Cale listened to the reports. He had anticipated this moment. Humans had never sought glory for its own sake. They sought to demonstrate capability, to earn trust, and to ensure that the galaxy recognized their potential. Lieutenant Sanchez asked quietly, "Sir, do you think they understand what it truly means to face humans?" Kale smiled faintly. "Some of them will. Some never will. But respect is earned through repeated action, and humans have earned it today. The galaxy now knows that we are not a species to underestimate." The council prepared a formal ceremony. Humans were to be recognized not only for their skill in battle, but for their ability to lead, advise, and cooperate across species. Flags of human colonies and ships were displayed alongside those of the galaxy's most powerful civilizations. It was a moment that no human had expected, yet all had worked toward. At the ceremony, Kyle addressed the council. "We are honored by your recognition. Humans have long lived under harsh conditions, adapting and surviving on planets that challenged every instinct. We have learned to think, to cooperate, and to overcome. Today, we demonstrate what humans can achieve not just for ourselves, but for the galaxy as a whole. We do not seek domination. We seek partnership, understanding, and progress." The council chamber erupted in applause, or its closest equivalent in alien forms. Many species still struggled with human concepts of speech and emotion, but all understood the meaning. Humans were extraordinary, and their achievements demanded acknowledgement. After the ceremony, Kale and his officers returned to the Resolute. They walked among the crew, who had quietly observed the ceremony from their stations. The crew had been part of something greater than any one battle. They had shown the galaxy what humans could do. Lieutenant Sanchez leaned on a railing. "Sir, it's remarkable. We've gone from being underestimated to being celebrated. Do you think they'll ever stop underestimating humans?" Kale shook his head. "Some will. Some never will. But that is irrelevant. Humans succeed not because others believe in us, but because we believe in ourselves and our ability to adapt. The galaxy will remember today, and the next time we face a challenge, they will think twice before underestimating us." Outside the human fleet, alien diplomats began visiting. They came to learn, not to spy. They sought to understand human tactics, communication methods, and decision-making processes. They were curious, cautious, and respectful, an entirely new approach compared to previous encounters. On the Zarkan observation ship, Admiral Threx whispered to his officers, "We must study them. Not for war, but for understanding. Humans are unlike any species we have faced. Their strength lies not in technology or size, but in their minds and unity." The galaxy slowly began to adjust. Trade routes were opened with human colonies. Research collaborations were established, and joint defense initiatives were discussed. Humans were not seen as invaders or conquerors. They were seen as a species capable of extraordinary problem-solving and leadership. Back on the Resolute, Kale addressed his crew once more. "This recognition is not the end. It is a beginning. Humans now have a responsibility, not to dominate, but to lead by example. To show that strength comes from intelligence, unity, and adaptability. This is what makes humans special." Lieutenant Sanchez looked at the crew. "Do you think we're ready for what comes next?" Kale's gaze extended to the stars beyond the viewport. "Always. The galaxy is vast and challenges will continue. But humans have proven themselves. And as long as we continue to adapt, cooperate, and think critically, there is no force in this galaxy that can match what humans are capable of." In the days that followed, reports spread across distant star systems. Stories of human victories, ingenuity, and teamwork were shared. The rogue factions who had previously attacked humans now avoided direct confrontation. Other species began sending emissaries to learn from humans rather than oppose them. The galaxy had realized something fundamental. Humans were not ordinary. They were expert soldiers, strategists, and problem solvers. Their power lay not in raw numbers or advanced alien technology, but in their creativity, adaptability, and unwavering cooperation. Kale walked along the observation deck of the Resolute, watching smaller human ships glide in formation around the flagship. They were a living demonstration of what humans could accomplish. Lieutenant Sanchez smiled. "Sir, do you think the galaxy understands us fully now?" Kale shook his head with a small smile. "Some do, some never will. But it does not matter. The truth of human capability is in our actions, not in what others believe. And today our actions have spoken louder than words ever could. As the sun of the neutral system glinted off the fleet, humans prepared for future missions, exploration, defense, diplomacy, and study. They were no longer underestimated. They were respected, valued, and observed with both caution and admiration. In quiet corners of the galaxy, alien commanders continued to analyze humans, attempting to predict their next moves. But humans remained unpredictable, adaptable, and precise. They had mastered the art of thinking differently, of turning every challenge into an opportunity. Kyle returned to the bridge of the Resolute and looked at the stars stretching infinitely in all directions. "This is only the beginning," he said softly. "The galaxy now knows humans are experts, and there is no limit to what humans can achieve when we work together." Somewhere far across the stars, an alien admiral muttered, shaking his head in disbelief. "I have underestimated them. And that will never happen again, humans. Humans are something else entirely." The galaxy had finally realized the truth. Humans were not merely survivors or fighters. They were experts in strategy, adaptation, and teamwork. They had proven that even the smallest species with intelligence, cooperation, and courage could command respect from the mightiest civilizations.